Alright, so just continuing the oscillation videos. Last video was on NT oscillations. This video is going to be on the ST oscillations. ST oscillations, the exemplary activity I'm going to be focusing on, and which is not necessarily to say this is all that ST can be, but the example that I'm going to focus on is sports. The relative extroversion, not relative, but the extroversion, introversion, ambiversion, or judging and perceiving versions of sports. I've talked about this a bit before, but yeah, sports is ST because it just seems like that. I don't have, it makes some sort of intuitive sense. I don't have a quantitative explanation, not just quantitative, but I don't have a discrete I don't have a discrete explanation as to why this is ST, but this is all coming from like insights about kind of my own areas of activity in high school and how that progressed over time. It's really coming from like academics is NT, and last video I was talking about video games is NT, but I think academics is also NT, but I think NT as video games or gaming in general, because I think chess is also like, I forgot to mention chess and board games and stuff like that, but like, a game like chess would be an NTP board game, and a game like let's say Pokemon, when you're going one-on-one with another human at the other end of who's also playing, then that would also be NTP, but that's getting back to NT, but focusing on ST. Yeah, just kind of like I said, I was looking at myself in high school, I was saying, hey, academics seem like three main activities: academics, sports, and theater. It's like, what are these things? They seem to be like areas of activity. That's kind of where it comes from. But I still don't have like discrete boundaries between, let's say, NT and SF or ST and NS. But I'm working on it, so I'll make a video about it when I do. But yeah, back to ST. Let's get into some different versions of ST in sports. I guess a good example of ST with introversion is golf. It's just you out there, and sure, you're competing against other people, but once again, you're not competing with them directly. It's not like in tennis, which would be STP, where you're hitting the ball and that determines what the other person has to do. Versus with golf, you're just hitting the ball yourself, and the other people playing golf with you can't interfere with your ability to hit the ball. Versus with tennis, it's all about controlling how the other person hits the ball. That's STP for tennis and IST for golf. With basketball as EST, when you have two teams of people going against each other, and remember the difference or the categories are essentially individual for I, individuals for P, groups for E, and group for J. And then at the points, and those are the sides of the square. And then when you have the points, you have like individual groups at the points of the square, and then you have singular and plural, kind of like individuals and groups, and up here, and then you have individual and group down here. So that's kind of the dynamic that's at play when you're going around the square. Yes, that's sports with EST, sports with E. Basketball, when you have two teams competing. You have basketball, you have football, you have soccer, you have baseball. All those sports are EST sports. And then we can go down to J, which are not, there's not a huge number of examples, but like sailing and rowing, anything with a boat where you got multiple people working on the same, I guess relays and track too. Multiple people on a team that aren't directly interfering with another team, but they're still in competition with that team. Or just trying to get their best time, because that's also STJ stuff. I worry I'm making these videos too short, but at the same time, I think these examples are, in my experience, these examples are straightforward enough that when I give a few examples, people seem to get it, what I'm seeing, or what I'm trying to say. So yeah, that's ST. I've done NT oscillations, the ST oscillations, and next video is going to be on the SF oscillations with music. So stay tuned, and thanks for watching this far.